Somebody once asked Donald Trump, how do you handle being at the center of all of this media attention, the whirlwind around you? How do you weather the storm? And he looked up and he said, I am the storm. I am the storm.
Out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and behave.
Shut up, bitch!
You're fired.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't give a damn. Oh, look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So we have...
Are you gay?
Do not come. 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 Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to the MAGA Morning Show. I couldn't get my chat working for Rumble for a minute, but how's everyone doing, man? Good morning. Welcome to the show. My name's Arturo. I'm your host today, and we got a lot to talk about, a lot to make up for what happened yesterday. I want to talk about the primaries and the things that happened in Florida and all that stuff. I'm going to save that for tonight's show, okay? Right now, we got other things to talk about, but tonight we're going to spend a good amount of time talking about what happened in the primaries in Florida, and I guess you could say the catastrophe that the Groyper campaign is going through. Now, it was better than I expected. I thought if you just like were on X every day, or you were on social media every day, and you're hearing all this, there's massive division in MAGA, MAGA's dead, and all this, and that the Groyper movement is rising up, you would think that it would be close battles, right? It would be like, they were actually giving us a run for our money, these Groyper candidates, these anti-Israel, super far right-leaning candidates, right? You would think that they would actually have a good fight. They would put up a good fight. Well, it turns out that they're not doing a good job at all. Matter of fact, they are failing pretty bad, man. They are failing pretty bad. And so, yeah, I think we're okay. People need to stop believing everything they see on the internet. Stop believing the bots, the bot army on X for sure. Because that is having a big effect on a lot of people's mindsets right now. But no, MAGA is strong, man. MAGA is stronger than ever. And right now, people are just saying that MAGA's dead, MAGA's dead. It's not. It's not. We're all still here. You got to remember, man, when we voted for Donald Trump, there were 77 million of us. 77 million. And there's only a couple, I would give them 1 million, 2 million, maybe 5 million. Hell, let's give them 10 million, maybe 10 million that jumped off the MAGA train, turned against Donald Trump, and are now in this new far right-leaning, journey, I guess, right? To take down the GOP, which is what, Nick Fuentes says all the time. His main mission is to take down the GOP, which I get it. I understand it, especially if you're black-pilled. You think both parties are the same thing. You think that the government is just out to screw us all over, which, they never wanted originally when our Constitution was written. They never wanted a two-party system. They never wanted two parties colliding with each other. They just wanted the people's voices to be heard and to be protected. That was kind of the whole point of the Constitution. But now, this is what the country that we have now is that we have a two-party system and we got to work together, right? There may be a way to go back. There may be a way to undo that and maybe create one singular party where everyone can come together and agree on certain things. But at the moment, when we're so divided in this country, I just don't know if that's even possible. Is it worth chasing? Probably. Absolutely. If anyone is going to do it better than anyone else, I think Nick Fuentes would be that guy with the influence he has. He's even looking at people on his own side, which I guess is kind of like Alex Jones, Candace Owens, and all of them. He's calling them out on their nonsense. And I got to agree with him. Not gonna lie to you guys. I like Nick Fuentes. I think he's actually a very charismatic guy. I actually don't agree with a lot of his talking points, especially against Donald Trump, but I do like the guy. And I'm on a mission for MAGA, right? I'm on MAGA ship and we're going full speed ahead. However, you got to be aware of what everyone else is doing as well. And I see what Nick Fuentes is doing. And actually, again, if anyone's going to steer that ship going that way, I would want it to be him. All these other people, Megyn Kelly, Thomas Massey, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Joe Cunt, all of them, like they're just sellouts. They saw the ship that he was riding and they just try to copy him, And so I feel like if anyone has the right to say that we're going to do this black pill thing and we're going to go for a singular party or whatever, I feel like Nick Fuentes is that guy. However, I'm still on the MAGA train and I disagree with some of his talking points, but I'm aware of what he does. I watch his show. I listen to him. I'm aware of what he talks about. And I'm aware of why I want to be here on the MAGA train, okay? Now, I don't think Donald Trump is selling us out like they want us to think. I think the reason they're really, if you want to get down to it, I think the real reason they attack Donald Trump, and I've caught Nick Fuentes in plenty of white lies where it's kind of true, but he'll turn it all and put all the blame on Donald Trump, even if it's things that were instituted during the Obama administration or the Biden administration, or Congress, right, fighting against Donald Trump. He'll still put the blame on Donald Trump. I've caught him in many of those lies. I've done videos on it before in the past too, and I get it. I get it. I think the reason he attacks Donald Trump, though, is to bolster up this new idea for a new party. And that's the way he's running his ship and going that way. However, again, I support Donald Trump. And I got his back. We are on the MAGA train, full speed ahead, and that's where we're going, man. So, that's what this channel is all about, right? It's MAGA through and through. You can't watch Fuentes. I can, but you have to be you have to use discernment when you're watching him. Listen, the thing about him is that he's great with reaching out to the younger generation. He's great with reaching out to the younger generation. And that's something that we lack over here. My channel is everyone watching my channel is like ages 30 and up, 40 and up. It's a very small amount of people that are under the age of like 50 that watch my channel. But that's just what it is, right? That's because the newer, younger generations, they're not all about this older stuff. The established Republicans, they're not about that. They like edgy. They like they like Nick Fuentes when he says the N-word with the hard R. They like that. That's cool, hip and happening to them. You know what I mean? So they like that. Me, I'm just the way I am because this is how I was raised and how I grew up. So I just relate to a lot of older people. That's just the way it is. Nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to sit here and like change my ways and start being real edgy and stuff like that. I am who I am. And I'm not even trying to pretend to be anyone else. So it is what it is. I can't change it. This is the crowd I talk to, and this is the crowd I associate with. So again, it ain't nothing I can really do about it. By the way, Jeffrey, man, thank you for the $2.40. Say good morning, Arturo. The family, please match my $2.40. Although he says $200.40 there. So yeah, he should definitely match that $240. $240.40 super chat. Mitch, thank you for the hiding. That's before the show even started, man. Nick is a damn Democrat. He's an anti-Democrat, anti-Republican. He's against both, and he's going in one direction. But again, I don't agree with his take on we should just vote Democrat to punish the Republicans. The hell is that going to do? What I think he wants to do, and hear me out, right? What I think he wants to do is remove the grip that the Republican Party has on us, the current conservative voter base. He wants to remove the grip. So if they lose in the midterms, you know, people start to feel demoralized and they start to not support the GOP quite as much as they did, because it's like, damn, we tried our hardest and we still lost. And then that gives him the opportunity to capitalize on that and say, look, man, the GOP keeps failing you. I got this new thing over here, and I think it's better for everybody. But this is also, he's really literally talking about an actual uniparty, a singular party, right? That pleases both sides. And I can't get down with that, because that means we're going to be giving in to the left's demands. We already know what they want. We already know all the crazy nonsense that they want to implement, right? And it's like, we cannot allow them to have even a nickel. We can't have them an inch. they're going to take 10 miles, right? You give them one, you make one little, you concede to one thing. Okay, here you go. We'll give you this. Okay. But anyways, let's move back to my side. And they say, no, that ain't good enough. We want more. And eventually it's going to be the same way it is right now, where it becomes one at the beginning and then it just splits apart. And now we have a two-party system. So this is the way things are right now. Is there a possibility going back to a singular party kind of thing? Maybe, but it's so much bigger than just us voting. It's so much bigger than anything. We're the United States of the world, right? We're the United States. We're the United States of America, and everyone is looking at us. Everyone wants what we have. And I'm talking about all the other countries in the world. That's why they influence our elections. That's why everyone is participating in our elections. It ain't just the American people voting. It's not. It's the American people voting, and then we have illegals voting as well. But it's not just the Americans, politicians that are participating in the elections. It's not just America. That's why every other country has a say-so in our elections. That's why they all get to dump money over here and support certain candidates. That's just the game of politics. That's the game of being the top dog on planet Earth. Everyone wants us. Everyone wants to dip their toes in here. They keep on saying, yeah, we're going to take money out of politics. No, you ain't. Ain't nobody taking no money out of politics. Stop it. Nobody's going to take money out of politics. Money is just it's a core aspect of our politics. And so you and me, the average American citizen, we get screwed over by everybody. We get screwed over by everybody. And that's the part that we are fighting against. But also, you have to fight against it. You have to put the right people in power. And then those people end up getting in position where some of them will stick around for the fight. But most of them, man, once that money starts piling up, it's over. They'll turn their back on you so fast. You can't trust a politician to hold your coffee while you tie your shoe. You're gonna be down there tying your shoe, la 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 la. Next thing you know, your coffee's gone. They got a gun to your head. It's got the IRS on the label. Give me your money. Oh, thanks. Wait, what? Nick Fuentes got caught yanking his crank live. He's a weirdo. Yeah, I never heard about none of that stuff, so I don't know anything about that. But that's kind of that's funny. Well, look, bro. I mean, there's like videos of Destiny, the leftist weirdo with the blue hair, and the jabberjaw guy. Every time he talks, his jaw's like flying around on one hinge. There's videos of him doing some nasty stuff, and people still support his ad. I mean, well, his side is pretty nasty themselves, so they do support him after even seeing that. But listen, man. Again, I don't know anything about that, but still, I think Nick Fuentes, the way he presents himself on his show, the way he has his talking points, he knows his shit. He's doing what he's doing. However, I still think that he puts in little white lies here in the middle of things, and he does tend to have an agenda and does tend to alter the narrative a little bit. So you just got to be aware of what he's doing, what he's fighting for, why he does it, and whether or not he's actually telling the truth or not. You just got to be aware of these things, But anyways, you guys hit that like button, man. I hope y'all are ready to get into the show. Oh, yeah. We got a lot of ICE news, a lot of ICE updates to talk about today. TPS ending for Ethiopians. Also, the Carmelo Anthony case. Did y'all hear about that? The fact that they got a new judge on the case. We're going to talk about that today. ICE agent being arrested in Minneapolis. We got to talk about that too. Maybe we'll get to this H-1B visa conversation. In Texas, Greg Abbott is trying to stop. He's trying to end H-1B visas in the Texas classrooms, which I thought H-1B visas was just for work. I didn't know it's for classrooms. It's like we're just giving free education away to people from other countries. No, that ain't it. That's not going to work. Nope, that's not going to work. Hunter on the White House balcony for 4th fireworks, coked out of his skull. And what's crazy is there are people. It's funny who it all is, right? It's like Candace Owens. I think Nick Fuentes did it too. Tucker Carlson recently had an interview with Hunter Biden. And now it's like people are saying that Hunter Biden is like coming up in the conservative party. What? Hunter Biden coming up on the Republican side? Maybe not the Republican side, but like this new Democrat part. I don't know, bro. They have me so confused. I don't know what their mission is other than dividing MAGA. I don't know what their mission is other than dividing MAGA, splitting MAGA apart. They saw how powerful we were when Trump ran for presidency, and we won in landslides all across the country. We won every single swing state. Every one of them. He got the popular vote, won his election in a landslide, and that put the fear in him. And then they got together and said, we got to do something about this. We got to fix this. We got to divide this. And that's what's been going on. All the while, they're doing this to us. Well, the left is coming together. They're all unified. Hell, they'll even say on camera, I'm never going to vote for a Democrat again. And then they go vote for a Democrat again. Listen, they got nothing going on except I hate Donald Trump. Okay, I hate Donald Trump. And that's basically it. I hate Donald Trump, abolish ICE, tax the rich. As long as you got those three things going on, you basically win your election. It's who hates Donald Trump the most. They're the winner. Who wants to abolish ICE the most? They're the winner. Who wants free shit? They're the winner. I'm gonna give you free stuff. Yeah, they win. That's all you got to do to win on the left. It's so brain dead and dumb. But over here on the right, we're thinking too much. We're thinking too much. And then we're scratching our head like, that doesn't seem right. Never mind, I'm not voting Republican. Never mind, I'm just not even going to vote. They're all the same thing. No, man, then we're not the same thing at all. Y'all forget how bad things are when Democrats are in office. Seriously, I think everyone's got short memories. Y'all are living it up during the Trump administration. And then every slight inconvenience, you're just like, I'm done with this. I hate this. And then you're just like, I'm not even going to vote. But then when you go back into the slave days, baby, I'm talking COVID. You better stay in your house or else you're getting arrested. You ain't coming to my restaurant unless you cover that face up. But I got to eat. I got. It's like you have to walk in there with a mask, fully covered your face, walk in there, order your food, sit down, and then you just take the damn thing off anyway so you can sit there and eat. And you're just talking. La, 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 la. Like, what's the mask going to do? That was slavery. That mandate was a practice of slavery, and we all went. Everybody went. Y'all forget that. Y'all forget Tim Walz having the National Guard out on your streets, telling people, stay in your house, pointing guns at them, telling them to go back inside, or else we'll shoot. What? But now all of a sudden, if we get the National Guard to stop Antifa, oh, we're the bad guys. We're the ones putting boots on the ground in the streets of our own country. We're the bad guys. No, we're fighting terrorism. We're fighting a dictatorship. And so I think people forget how bad it is under the left and how bad things are. And now we're over here bitching, moaning, and complaining because gas prices are up. Y'all had slavery and high gas prices and mass layoffs and 10% inflation, higher interest rates. Y'all had all that back then under the Democrat rule. If anything, it may not be perfect, it may not be great, but the way Donald Trump is handling the economy right now, after all of that devastation to it, I think he's doing a great job. And the fact that there's money being generated like never before, we're hitting all-time highs in the stock market. Like, what are we complaining about, man? Go to work. Go to work, make better decisions. I don't know what to tell you. It's either that or you just give up. Let the left take over and let them do it all over again. Make it even worse and worse. So, I don't know. That's a lot going on, but we got to be realistic about what's going on in our country, man. And if you're going to think that just giving up or just punishing the Republican Party is going to do the trick, it ain't going to do nothing. Because you know who doesn't feel the heat? Congress. Congress don't feel the heat. They really don't. They get paid whatever. Even if you punish a couple of the Republicans, the rest of them that are sitting in there in Congress, they don't give a shit. They're going to come in there and push their button and collect their paycheck. We did punish them. We punished them through the primaries. Now we got better Republicans coming in place. Hopefully. You know, it is what it is, right? But like Lindsey Graham, she's over here not answering questions the right way. They asked her, would you like to ban abortion? She said, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I get it. She's new to politics, really. Well, no, she's not new to politics, actually. She's been in politics for a while. But for some reason, she can't answer that question. Would you like to ban abortion? I just leave it up to the states. That's all you really got to say. I'm just going to leave it up to the states. But anyways, y'all ready to get into it? Let's get into the show, man. I'm just over here rambling, getting my thoughts off. I didn't talk to you guys at all yesterday, so I got a lot swirling in my head that I got to get out. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it, man. We got to talk about, where do we want to start this today? TPS. Let's go to TPS. We got to talk about Ethiopians, man. Let me get my timer out. Let's get this bad boy going. Y'all hit that like button if you have not already. Help me try to get that super chat goal. Which, by the way, Candace, thank you for the $5. He said, at the height of COVID, working pest control, as soon as you could walk in the back of a medical office, no masks on faces. Yeah, no one was actually wearing. The masks didn't do shit, first of all. No one was wearing masks. Like, stop it. It was such a useless mandate. That was really just them testing out the controls that they had over us. That's really all it is. Well, Haitians are on the chopping block, but they're not the only ones. They're not the only ones at all. So TPS is ending for multiple countries, multiple people of these countries, right? The next one to go, we just saw Haitians the past month. They're in panic mode because they're being laid off en masse. They can't live, they can't work in America anymore. So now they have a tough choice: hide, go work on the farms, or self-deport, or be deported. Those are your choices, right? Well, that's that for Haitians. Now we got it for Ethiopians, all right?
Immigrants.
Oops.
A federal court ruling could impact a large number of Aurora residents. A judge will allow the Trump administration to move forward with ending legal protections for some Ethiopian immigrants. This could end temporary protected status for about 5,000 Ethiopians. The TPS program allows people who are escaping dangerous conditions in their home countries to live and work legally in the U.S. That status was granted to Ethiopians in 2022 because of an armed conflict in that country. The Trump administration has been trying to end those protections since last year as part of a widespread effort to end TPS for more than a dozen countries. That rule change could be especially impactful in Aurora, which has more than 5,000 Ethiopian residents. It's the second largest foreign-born population in Aurora, behind Mexican immigrants.
Why are we like the stepdaddy of planet Earth? Why do we have to be the safe haven for everybody's people? Can't they go to other countries? Aren't they supposed to go to the country like next to where this is all happening? Why do we have to be like, yeah, come on in. Yeah, you, yeah. The heat is too much over there. It's 112 degrees outside. Yeah, come on over here. Just come on. We got good AC over here. Cold, ice cold water. Yeah, come on over here. And there's no dirt in it. But it's like, why do we have to be the country that takes in everybody from everywhere? Can't y'all just like defend your countries? Stand up to try to fight back against whatever's like. War is kind of necessary, right? People on this planet Earth are always at war with each other. They're always trying to take over land, always trying to take over territories. Why do we have to sit here and protect all the losers? I'm sorry. I hate to say it like that, but are we just that benevolent? We're that nice, that giving that we have to take in everybody's losers and the ones that are losing in their conflicts. And now because they're losing, we're just supposed to take care of all of them. I don't get it. I don't know why we give TPS to, 13 countries? Yeah, 13 countries. And guess what? Thank you to Donald Trump. Now they are all on the chopping block. All 13 of them. Over 1 million people ready to go.
On the immigration front, temporary protected status for people from Ethiopia revoked by the Trump administration. Now, this means legal status for more than 1 million people from 13 countries is wiped out. Live to CBS News immigration correspondent Camilo Montoya-Galvez. Okay, Camilo, what's left of this TPS program in the United States?
Hi, Reed. Just to underscore again that point, 1 million people, more than 1 million people who were previously in the U.S. legally and authorized to work in the country lawfully have now lost their deportation protections, are subject to deportation, and can no longer work in the country legally. That is after the Supreme Court earlier this summer allowed the Trump administration to basically end most TPS or temporary protected status programs for nationals of about 13 countries. We're talking about citizens of Afghanistan, Cameroon, Burma, Ethiopia, Haiti, Honduras, Nepal, Nicaragua, Somalia, South Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. So the scope of this massive campaign.
Look, even they're dancing to ice. You see that? Check it out.
Burma, Ethiopia, Haiti, Honduras, Nepal, Nicaragua, Somalia, South Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. So the scope of this Somalia.
Yeah, get it, girl.
So Nicaragua, Somalia, South Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. So the scope of
yeah, bye. Yeah, bye. Y'all can get up out of here, man. But listen, we don't need 13 countries worth of stragglers dumped into our country. Why do we do this? I don't get it. Can we get some help from other countries? Because we're bailing everybody out. We're the stepdaddy on planet Earth. We got everybody's illegitimate kids over here. They're over here hitting us up. Hey man, give me $50. I only got 40. And you suck. I don't know why my mommy likes you. Give me that 40. Here. Give me that. And you suck. You ain't my daddy. Then they walk away and run off with the money. Like, damn, that's how we're treated. That's how our country is treated. Everyone abuses us, takes from us, and we just give it. We give it. Here you go, man. And then they spit on us as they're walking away with the money we just gave them. Not even a thank you, nothing. Not even a, oh, okay. Well, we'll do this in place of you doing that. No, it's everybody's like, hey, man, give me that money. Try not to cuss over here, right? We're trying to keep it PG-13. We're like, man, give me that money, man. And then we're just supposed to do it. And if we don't, oh, I ain't got it today. Man, you a bitch. I don't know why my mommy likes you. And that bitch too. That's how we're treated. So yeah, y'all can go. Oh well, too bad. 13 countries. Bye. We don't need y'all.
This massive campaign to basically turn hundreds of thousands of immigrants here into illegal immigrants is massive and really breathtaking, honestly. Read, the Department of Homeland Security is now telling everyone affected by the TPS terminations that they should pack their bags, that they should self-deport from the country. Otherwise, the department...
And we're so nice that we're giving y'all a warning. Look, bro, look, it is what it is. I ain't got no more money. All right. So y'all gonna have to move out of your mom's house. I can't pay the bills for all of y'all. Man, what you mean? But look, it's okay, man. Look, now that you're leaving, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a bag. I'm gonna give you $2,600. You can take it and get yourself an apartment. And you can start working, get you a nice haircut, some nice clothes, go get a job and get out there and really, really do it, bro. Man, what the f you mean, man? I ain't going nowhere. And they just go right back up to their room. And you're like, shh, you don't know we're about to get evicted. I'm gonna have to do something. Get them up out of here. And then that's when ICE comes knocking down the door and they deport his ass out of the house. Dad? Oh, now I'm your daddy. Now that you're being deported. Dad, why are you letting them take me? Why are you kicking me out of the house? I told you, son. Can I still get that 2,600? Nope. Nope, you cannot get that. Good luck out there. Hey, listen, I gave you a chance. And you wouldn't take it, son. You wouldn't take it. So it is what it is. Dad. That's literally the situation that's going on here. It's the stepdaddy situation, and America's the stepdaddy. Oh well, it is what it is, man. Listen. Oh well. That's all I can really say to these people. I can't say nothing else other than that. But ICE is about to be racking up the numbers. I'll tell you that one. The incentive for self-deportation is there. The money's there. The free flight is there. The enablement to be able to come back into the country the right way is there. You think these people are going to do that, though? How much does it cost to, I'm not even going to get into that. Like, how much would it cost to get your citizenship? At least the 2,600 will help you get back to America or like try to apply or something. You know what I mean? But they're not going to use it for that. They're going to take it back home and they're just going to blow it in a month. And that's it. And their time in the U.S. officially comes to an end. So 13 countries worth of people getting up out of here. Now, if you guys haven't already, please hit that like button. Let's see, we got any super chats. We got a gold coin. Hella Grace, thank you for the gold coin. Hey guys, don't forget to help me get to that super chat goal. Let's get to Ohio, baby. Let's get to Ohio. So now that TPS is ending for 13 countries worth of people that are living in our country, there's millions of people up on the chopping block. Millions of people about to be deported. ICE is everywhere. ICE is all over the country, man. There's ICE sightings every day, everywhere, right? And now we got Ohio. We got ICE influx happening in Springfield, Ohio.
Tensions are running high for an estimated 15,000 Haitians in Springfield, as well as some of their lifelong residents.
Hours ago, the city of Springfield confirmed that immigration enforcement officers are carrying out operations and arresting people in the city and surrounding areas. Now we're hearing from some of the people who are caught in the middle. News reporter Julian Jackson went to Springfield and has new information tonight.
It was next to these trash cans here on Sherman Avenue, where a video circulating on social media appears to show immigration enforcement officers with a minivan stopped in the middle of the road. We spoke to a woman who says she watched it all happen.
I saw these cars come up and pull over a Haitian in a red van this morning. A bunch of armed men got out with vests and everything.
Sarah Van Hoos says she addressed the officers directly at first, questioning their actions.
They told me it was none of my business and I needed to watch what I was doing or I was going to be the next target.
Sarah tells me she knows some Haitian families live on her block, but they're not bothering anyone.
Targeting innocent people just because of their race and their color is just, it's absolutely disgusting.
Oh, well, good thing you don't matter and nobody needs to listen to you. Okay, no, but I knew from the voice. I swear I could smell the cat piss in the voice. There's something about their voices that you just know what kind of person we're talking to here. Okay. I had not watched this yet. I just watched the first couple seconds of it. I didn't watch this part, but I could tell, look, she got the tattoos. She got the woke glasses. She's got the, I love brown people. I just don't want to talk to them or be associated with them, but I love brown people. Why are you taking them away? And anyways, it's funny how they like sympathize with this and the way they think about the liberals, right? The way they think about these situations. Oh, they're just kidnapping brown people. They're just kidnapping adult brown people in the middle of the streets. Why are they doing that? He's wanted for murder in Haiti. Murder of 7 people in Haiti. You're lying. You don't know what you're talking about. He's just an innocent, hardworking man. He's got a rap sheet like a mile long here in America. What do you want us to do? Give him a chance. Abolish the prisons. Abolish ICE. Give peace a chance. We gave peace a chance, ma'am, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out quite well. Anyways, let's get back to it.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Other people see the operation by ICE quite differently. I spoke with one man who has strong opinions about the local Haitian community. While 2 News was not able to verify his claims, Michael Anderson shared it.
Isn't this where they were eating the dogs? Can I get a fact check on that? Can I get a fact check on that? Kamala Harris over here laughing at me. Man, are they eating the dogs and the cats? Let me know. Let me know. Is this where it was? I think this is where it was.
These 2 reasons why he thinks Haitians formerly living under TPS should leave immediately.
Taking jobs, and not only that, they're getting free license, and my kid got hit by one, and they let him go, and he hit 4 other kids prior to that.
Michael believes ICE detaining people sent out of the country is a positive move for Springfield. He says there's one way lifelong residents can make that happen.
Speak to mine, and we're tired of it.
Yeah, man, they came over there and busted down my door, and then they went in there and ate my dog and my cat, man. Yeah, they went in there and they just came in there and busted in my wall, and then just came in there and ate my cat, man. Went out there and cooked my dog right in the front porch, man. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying?
I am.
Regardless of who is living in America legally, Rose Thamar Joseph with the Haitian Support Center tells me some Haitians are now being forced to make up their mind.
We also heard people who say that instead of getting income monitors, that we will prefer to self-deport. But we also know that this is a big decision.
I can't even understand what she was saying. Now, I remember Springfield, I think, is where they dumped like 40,000 Haitians in one night or like in a couple of days or whatever. Like they literally brought them in on planes, the Biden administration. They brought Haitians in on planes in this tiny little town with very little money to go around. No real money generation to go around, right? Biden brought in 40,000 Haitians and dumped them off over here in Springfield, Ohio. What the hell were they thinking? There's not even enough money to go around to take care of them. if the government is going to be doing that. What are we talking about? And people just dismissed it. What do you think happens to a community when you dump 40,000 people, for people from other countries that have no idea what's going on in this country? They have no idea the way of life is. They just get dumped over here. It decimated this community. It did, and they're still suffering the consequences. How do you think the people of Springfield feel? They have one stupid white liberal girl who's like, "Oh, it's so sad they're deporting brown people." But then you got most of the people in Springfield that are actually, waking up and realizing, thank God, thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you for saving us and our cats and our dogs. Now, this is, I don't know who this woman is. I can't even understand what she's saying.
Instead of getting income monitors there, we prefer to self-deport. But we also know that this is a big decision.
Where do the jobs come from? How do these 40,000 Haitians even live and survive over here? Because listen, bro, if you dump that many people in my town up the street, there would not be enough jobs. There would not be enough housing. There wouldn't be enough, none of that. How do they manage this? How does the community survive this is what I want to know. And I'm sure a lot of Haitians said, I ain't staying here. I'm getting the hell out of here. There ain't nothing here. No money, no jobs, no housing. I'm getting up out of here. And I'm sure they fled off to the rest of the country, right? But like, how do they survive? And then what about the people in the community who are already desperate for jobs? What are they going to do? They get pushed to the back of the line so we can accommodate these foreigners, these third world foreigners?
Leaders with the Haitian Support Center tell me there is little or nothing that they can do except for comply with the guidelines set by DHS officials.
Good.
Even if that means wearing ankle monitors or going to the facility in Blue Ash to check in with immigration authorities. In Springfield, Julian Jackson.
Just self-deport, bro. Self-deport, get your little $2,600, whatever it is. Just do it. Get it over with so I ain't gotta, sit here and wait for y'all to get taken care of. Just do us all a favor. We did you a favor. Now it's your turn to repay us. And by the way, we're going to pay you to do it and give you the opportunity to come back the right way. We're just too nice, man. And we get treated like crap. So, yeah, man, Ohio, it's going down out there. ICE is cracking down. And hopefully, I'm hoping ICE gets in there sooner than later. And we have an actual big operation going on here because 40,000 Haitians here in this little tiny town. Were they eating the dogs and the cats? They said there was a white van going around and they were scooping up the dogs. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Okay. Save Springfield, please. Okay. Anyways, they really do need to crack down in Springfield, save this community, get them up out of there. And I bet the people would be so happy and ecstatic. Like they would be like, oh, I can breathe again. We can work and thrive again. We can invest in the city again. We can actually start growing again. We can get us a Walmart and a McDonald's. Hallelujah. That ain't happening now, I'll tell you that. Not until they get up out of there.
Now to a CBS.
Oh, yeah, here we go. This story. This story's great. Mexico is pissed. Why? I'll let you guess on that one. Let me see what y'all are doing in the chat, man. If y'all haven't hit the like button, please hit that like button. Thank you guys for joining me this morning at this, what is it? Is it Thursday morning? God, it's Thursday already. Look, bro, I can't take no more days off. I've taken off way too many days so I can work on this shed. And thank God it's finally done. It's finally done. I finally got the electricity in there. Finally got the mini split all hooked up. Let me tell you, bro, the mini split should not have been that hard of a job. It really shouldn't have. But I swear everything that could have gone wrong with the mini split installation went wrong. And I'm not even joking about that. I had wrong sizes for certain things like conduit. I couldn't get the damn vacuum pump. Let me tell you how yesterday went, okay? Let me tell you all how yesterday went. Because the first 2 days, I got it all installed, right? But the second day, I was trying to hook up the electric part to it. And I got the wrong conduit size. Not the wrong conduit, but the wrong fitting that goes to like the cutoff switch for it. So I had to go search that down, go get all that, make sure I got the right size. They didn't have the right one at this hardware store up the street, so I had to go to Lowe's. It was just a lot of hunting around for the right pieces, right? Ended up getting it all hooked up. Everything's just perfect. But then the last step is to vacuum out the lines so that way there's no moisture in the AC lines, the copper lines, and all that stuff. So I needed a vacuum pump and I needed a gauge set. That's what I was doing yesterday. I went to O'Reilly's up the street. They had the gauge set, they had the vacuum pump, and I was like, great, this is badass, let's get it. They didn't have the oil for the vacuum pump. So I'm like, okay, let me go hunt around for the oil. I went to the hardware store up the street. They didn't have it. I went to another auto shop around here. They didn't have it. I called around O'Reilly's in the town like 20 minutes away. They didn't have it. There's no AutoZone there. So the nearest AutoZone was like 45 minutes away. And I'm like, okay, they got it. And conveniently, my son had a doctor's appointment in that same town. So I was like, great, okay, we're going to go over there, do the doctor's appointment. I'll get the oil. Boom, we got it, right? 45 minutes away. We did all that, took care of that, did some other stuff too. Came back. So I'm there. I got the vacuum pump, the gauges. I got the oil. I put the oil in the vacuum pump. It's good to go. I put the gauge set on. It doesn't have the right fittings for it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a vehicle gauge set. This is for a vehicle AC system. So I'm like, okay, well, this ain't going to work. So I need to hunt around for AC gauge sets, right? I called Lowe's. They didn't have any. Called Walmart. They didn't have any. Found a Harbor Freight. That's like 30 minutes away. They had the gauge set I needed. So I went out, got it, brought it back home. Got the gauge set hooked up. Yay, thank God. It works. Yay. Then I go to turn the vacuum pump on. The damn vacuum pump doesn't even work. The motor was jammed on it. It was just buzzing. Okay, so I'm like, what is going on here? I thought it was my plugs. I'm checking around. Got a different extension cable. I did all this crap just to see that if it was going to work or not. Didn't work. Yeah, they come pre-filled, but you got to vacuum out the lines. You got to vacuum out the hoses so there's no air or moisture stuck in there. And you also got to double check that they're actually sealed and there's no leaks or anything, right? So vacuum pump doesn't work. O'Reilly's closes in an hour. So I ran back to O'Reilly's, returned that vacuum pump, got my money back with the gauge set and everything. And they didn't have another vacuum pump. There was nothing for me to get one. I look around, I see AutoZone 45 minutes away, right? I called them. They had one. And I said, okay, can you test it real quick? Plug it in, make sure it actually works. The guy on the phone actually plugged it in, tested it. He said, yeah, it works. It's buzzing. I could hear it over the phone and everything. I'm like, all right, I'm heading down there. I get there right at, I think it was 8:55. Rented it out. Got the vacuum pump, flew back home, plugged everything in, and it worked. Everything just worked. Electrical was all set up. Everything worked. Finally. It's like everything that could go wrong went wrong, but also everything worked out in the end. Right? So I ended up I got everything. Everything's done. And then I think it was 11:30 last night. I finally cranked it up, turned the AC on, and that thing is just blasting cold air at me. I'm telling you, it's the greatest feeling ever. That sense of accomplishment of fighting with this thing for 3 days, everything going wrong, but eventually getting to the end where everything worked out. And it's just like, oh. And now I went out there this morning. I let it run overnight just to make sure that it can keep up with it. Kept it at 78 degrees, put it on auto and all that. And yeah, I walked in there this morning. It felt nice and cool in that shed. I'm just like, I was so happy, man. Even last night when I turned it on, I just sat there, good straight hour, just sitting there scrolling on my phone, letting the AC blast me, which by the way, it was 108 degrees pretty much every day the past couple of days. So I was out there dying, sweating, dehydrated. I was drinking a lot of water. Don't worry about that. But that's how my past couple of days were. Finally, it's all done. Now what I got to do, the next job is cleaning up in there because I got a bunch of tools in there. No, I don't have a P.O. box yet. I'll get that. Don't worry. I got to clean up in there. I got to move stuff into there. Although I'm thinking, should I just not do that and just paint first while it's empty? I'm probably going to do that. My next job is going to paint. I got to paint it. I don't like the white walls. I mean, it's cool. It's nice, whatever. But you know me, I need black walls. I need black walls. I think I'm going to do dark gray, not necessarily black, but like dark gray, like a matte dark gray. That's what I'm going to do. And oh, I got to get the Wi-Fi in there. I got to get the internet in there, which shouldn't be that hard. That one should really, honestly, be really easy. I just got to run the line over to it. I'm not even digging a trench. I'm just running it through the air and digging a hole, or not digging a hole, but making a little hole in there, and I'll put like a cover over it so it's not getting rain or anything inside of it or whatever. And that's it, man. That's all I got to do. Get the Wi-Fi in there, paint, then I can move stuff in there. And then we could finally use it to get to work. Which I cannot wait to do that. Got to get all the lights set up. I got to get my drum sets in there. Still got a lot of work to go, but I'm not taking no more days off. All right. I will be here in this office, morning shows, nighttime shows, basically every day until the end of this month. Yeah. Yep. So anyways, I feel good. I feel accomplished. I'm glad I got that over with. Now we just move on forward. All right. Now this next story, which we're going to jump right into, please hit that like button, guys, if you can. No more days off. Not this month. I haven't been putting out enough live streams and videos on the other channel. So that other channel is like, I don't know. It's starting to not do as well. Unless I go live, then it does great. But anyways, I got to put more attention to the other channel, the Daily Discourse channel. This channel is doing great, though. I'll tell you that one. This channel has exploded this month, and I absolutely love it. But let's get to this next story, all right? So ICE has been deporting, the Trump administration has been deporting people, not just people, but Mexican immigrants, people that used to live in Mexico, people that are Mexican nationals, right? We're actually deporting them to other countries. And not a lot of people knew that. The reason being is because Mexico kind of makes it a little harder for us to deport to them. They're not being as cooperative as they should be, right? Well, we have deals set up with other countries that will gladly take in Mexican nationals. So that's what we've been doing. And now people have caught wind of it. And Mexico has also caught wind of it. And they're actually kind of upset about it.
Two Homeland Security officials tell CBS News that the Trump administration has been quietly deporting Mexican migrants to different countries in Central America. This despite the Mexican government's willingness to accept returning citizens. CBS News immigration correspondent Camila Montoyo Galvez is following this story for us. Camila, what have you learned?
Hi, Liz. As you underscored, we have learned through sources at the Department of Homeland Security that the Trump administration for the past few months has been deporting hundreds of Mexican deportees around Mexican territory to send them to Honduras and Guatemala instead in Central America. And the objective, we are told by U.S. officials, Liz, is to deter illegal immigration from Mexico by sending deportees from that country further south away from the American border. And this is happening, as you rightly underscored, despite the fact that Mexico's government is saying publicly, including to us, that it is willing to accept all Mexican deportees from the U.S.
They're not. They're not. They're really not. We've caught them numerous times not allowing them to be sent over here. They make a big hubbub about it whenever they do get a mass influx of deportees sent over to them. They put out statements and they say, this is uncalled for. How dare they do this? The United States is supposed to take care of our citizens. That's our partnership, or whatever. Like, they're not our friends, man. Think of Mexico as just a giant progressive country, especially with Sheinbaum as their president. She is just another progressive, another one of these woke liberals. And the whole country is going that way.
The statement, in fact, the Mexican Foreign Ministry told us that it rejects the deportation of Mexican nationals to third countries like Honduras and Guatemala. For its part, the Department of Homeland Security told us that it is utilizing, Liz, all lawful options, quote unquote, to carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. That is, of course, a signature promise by President Trump. So again, this is a striking operation that has not been publicly announced by the Trump administration, but that sources at DHS indeed confirm is happening, Liz.
And Camille.
So, and I got to figure out what's going on with this guy's hair, bro. I just can't understand it. How he has that perfect shade, like that pencil shading shade every day. Because usually that's like a I just shaved all my hair off and this is the shading left over from it. You know what I mean? Like, how does he get his hair to stay? Anyways, let's go ahead and I don't want that. If you're thinking that I want that, I do not want that. I like the slick balls, slick head. Okay, we don't need none of that. Why? He just wants a lineup. It's a bald guy who says, I want a lineup. I want a fresh fade. Anyways, so now that this has been happening, Mexico's upset about it. Now they're putting out statements saying that, how dare you do this, Donald Trump? This is uncalled for.
Now, to a CBS News exclusive, Mexico is rejecting the Trump administration's latest immigration crackdown. We've learned the U.S. has been quietly deporting Mexican migrants to different countries in Central America. Mexico has historically accepted all U.S. deportations of its citizens. DHS officials say the deportations have been going on for months. Immigration experts are calling the move unprecedented. CBS News immigration correspondent Camilo Montoya Galvez is here with us in studio with more of his exclusive reporting. Camilo, good morning.
Good morning.
What exactly is the Trump administration's objective with its deportations here?
It's a great question, Errol. So just to level set, we learned through Homeland Security sources that the U.S. government has been flying Mexican deportees around Mexico to deport them to Guatemala and Honduras instead of sending them back to their homeland. And that, we are told, is because the U.S. wants to deter illegal immigration from Mexico by pushing some of its citizens further south and away from the American border. By sending Mexican citizens to Central America, there's also an objective of deterrence. The administration is sending many migrants, not just Mexican citizens, to many different so-called third countries, nations where they have no ties, where often they don't speak the language, to send a message of deterrence, to basically...
Well, hell, they don't speak our language either. Why should we care about that? They don't even know English. Why should we care about that? That's just too damn bad, bro. Listen, Mexico, if you didn't want this to happen, you shouldn't have allowed a caravan of people to just flood into our country. You knew they were coming. Your own people protested against it. They will gladly protest caravans coming into their country, but what will the Mexican government actually do? They don't go to the border and stop them and turn them back around. Instead, they just protect them and let them safely make it to the United States. No, they should have actually stood up and stopped the invasion. They should have worked, but you know what? Biden administration said, hey man, just let them come on in. You sure? You sure? Yeah, let them come on in. Well, okay, if that's what you want to do, we'll just let them go. And then we get wave after wave after wave of caravans for years. Years. They were just flooding into the country, man. Millions of people. And they still, some people are still thinking that all illegal immigrants are just Mexicans. They're not. We're talking about illegal immigrants from all over the world. Middle Eastern, Egypt, Asia, Korea, Europe, everywhere, Africa. They all flooded into our country all together at one time. So if Mexico really, really cared about this, then they should have stopped them back then. They didn't care. This is a political statement against Donald Trump. This is, again, Mexico is now becoming a progressive country. You know, they've embraced communism in the past, and we had to get involved in their elections to stop it in the past, right? Again, here we go again. Now that they have fully embraced it, now that they have Sheinbaum, a woman who is clearly a socialist, clearly will gladly help the cartels thrive. You know, now that we have someone like that in position, yes, Mexico is just a progressive communist country now. That's what it's becoming. And it's right next to our doorstep. This is something we used to fear back in the day. And now, you know, if we have Democrats in power, we welcome it. We welcome it and empower them to continue doing their movement. And so now that they're coming into our country like this, we're getting them up out of here. We're doing what we got to do. They're upset about it. This is all just a bunch of hoorahing and just yelling and screaming, bitching and moaning because they don't like Donald Trump. That's all it is. That's why when a Mexican national dies in ICE custody, the Mexican government's like, how dare Donald Trump kill one of our people? Why is your people in our country? If they're your citizen, why are they in our country? Why did we have to take them in, take care of them, and then prepare them to be removed to where, you know, now they're just ended up dead because some medical reason, maybe they were on drugs and they overdosed, or maybe they were coming down with withdrawals from like fentanyl or heavy cocaine usage and then just died in custody or anything like that. How come we got to take the blame for taking care of your people? You didn't stop them from crossing the border. I don't see your border patrol agents holding the border down. Y'all just asleep at the wheel. And because we're actually doing our job, now we're taking the blame? Man, get the hell out of here, bro. Get out of here, man. So, yeah, Mexico is they got some people that work with us, especially there at the border, but now that's only because of Donald Trump, you know, coming together with them. They know they need trade deals with us. They know that the tariffs hurt them. And so they have to bend the knee to Donald Trump. That's why you need a president like Donald Trump who could put pressure on these other countries so we can make them come to us and say, what do you need? What do I got to do to get some relief here? And Donald Trump says, listen, bro, you're going to have to show me what you got first. And then I'll think about giving you some relief later. But I got everything you want. I have all the leverage, right? United States has all the leverage. Use that against them. Stop. When we have Democrats in power, we are bending the knee to everybody because it's just a nice thing to do. It's the humane thing to do. Man, all that, man. That's why we need a president like Donald Trump. Big dog. A real man in the house just saying, nope, you got to give me first. You got to earn my respect first. And then I'll think about giving something to you. But you got to prove your worth. And that's the kind of president we need, man. But they're upset about this. Again, that's just them being a progressive nation, upset that a real man is running the country again and that they ain't getting what they wanted. They didn't get their their free goodies from stepdaddy. So now they're upset, and that's just too damn bad.
Okay.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is just too damn bad. Let me look at this poll. I asked you guys, who do y'all think is winning the midterms? Well, who's going to win the House in the midterms? 87% of y'all said Republicans. I hope that's true, man. I got faith in it. Listen, if Republicans show up like they did for the presidential election, then we will be in good shape. It just means that we have to do it or else, you know? Again, the midterms have to be too big to rig. So are we really sending those Hades back from where they came from? Yeah. We're already slapping them with ankle monitors so we can make sure we know where they're at and that they're not leaving or fleeing or anything like that. They're already getting hit with ankle monitors. How long until we've effectively eliminated that 20 million extra that Biden got? Oh, God, man. 20 years? 20 years? We are $30 trillion in debt. 36 trillion, well, almost $40 trillion in debt, right? We're already maxing out our budget. And if we put ICE to the maximum, push them to the maximum, and take resources from Border Patrol and squish that into ICE as well, then you're only looking at maybe 3 million illegals a year. And that's including self-deportations, right? That's the kind of number you could shoot for. That's the max capacity. If everything goes right, we overwork ICE and we push them to the limit, give them all the funding, all the ability that we got, including cooperation with the police. You're looking at about 3 million a year. And that's maxed out. All resources maxed out. Okay. That's what you're looking at. That alone is going to take 6-7 years to get to that 20 million mark. That's almost a full 2-term president, right? Now just think what happens if you get Democrats in power again. What happens then? And it only takes them 2, 3, 4 years to get another 20 million in here. Bro, you can forget it. You can forget. We need to keep Republicans in power for the foreseeable future. The Democrat Party literally has to go extinct if we're going to save this country. If not, you can forget it, man. One president is all it takes. One Democrat president is all it takes. Just one. It'll undo everything Trump did. Like that. Because the damage they do is so devastating. It's like cancer. It's just you can try to scoop it out. There's always going to be a little left. It's just going to keep on growing. It's like it's that deep within, you know? But yet for us, when we're doing things by the book, we're doing executive orders. Well, those can be overwritten in 5 seconds. We put some legislation through. Well, that can be overwritten in 5 seconds if they have a majority in Congress. You know, like the things we do are not as permanent and definite like the things that they do. Like allowing 20 million illegals into the country. You can't just sign a piece of paper and override that. You can't. You have to do major operations that take a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of resources just to undo the damage they did, right? So their damage is so much worse than anything we could do because we're not doing damage. We're doing restoration. We're doing the cure. It's like, you know, imagine it this way, right? It's like the bullet, if somebody got shot, the bullet only takes a half a second to cause extreme damage, break bones, damage organs and all that stuff. But it's going to take a master surgeon to come in there and maybe restore the wound. And then that takes months and years to heal, right? That's exactly the kind of situation we're dealing with. The Democrats, they'll shoot it. Look, boom, take 2 seconds, cause all that damage. And then us as Republicans got to spend months and years to fix that damage. And then it's never as good as it used to be before the damage happened. That's exactly how it equates to the way we're handling this country. They just shot the country in the head, and we're over here doing surgery on it to try to repair the damage. Only one stitch at a time, baby. One stitch at a time. Let's get to this. Let's get to this next story, because this is an ICE agent that got arrested. Okay, in Minnesota. So, man, the witch hunt for ICE agents continues in Minnesota. All right, we have 2 ICE agents that were arrested recently, sent to court. One of them went to Texas, right? He went to Texas. They ended up putting a warrant out for his arrest, and I believe they arrested him. And right now, there's efforts to try to bring him back to Minnesota so they can detain him and keep him locked up until his court date.
Okay, this next story is a pretty big deal because we have the state of Minnesota that is now suing the governor of Texas. The governor of Texas for failing to extradite an ICE agent charged in a non-fatal shooting during Operation Metro Surge.
And Attorney General Keith Ellison says no one is above the law, and his office is taking its case to federal court. So we want to bring in Fox 9's Paul Bloom on this one. Paul, the AG and others believe that they are running out of time now.
Yeah, guys, the Attorney General Keith Ellison telling us today that the clock is ticking for this man, ICE agent Christian Castro. Castro has been behind bars in Texas now for nearly 3 months. And with Castro's deep ties in Mexico, authorities here in Minnesota argue they had to act now.
This doesn't happen. Inside the Minnesota State Capitol on Tuesday,
look at
the county's top prosecutor and the Attorney General turning up the heat.
It's very clear that they're saying no.
AG Keith Ellison's office filing this 19-page federal lawsuit against Republican Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
So if y'all don't know what this story is about, this ICE agent, right? It was chasing down an illegal immigrant. The illegal was running to his house where there was another illegal immigrant living with him, right? So this ICE agent catches up to him. By the way, the illegal ran over the sidewalk, parked in somebody's front yard, and just opened up the car door and ran to his house, right? Now, this is in Minneapolis when Metro Surge was happening. So the ICE agent's chasing after him. They get into a little tussle right in front of the house. The ICE agent, this guy claimed that the other illegal immigrant was hitting him with a shovel. They attacked him. And he says that the attack went on for, I think, 7 to 12 minutes or something like that, right? But it was actually only a couple seconds, like 30 seconds. And so the illegals tussle with the ICE agent. They escape. They run inside the house. And this guy, when they close the door, he pulls his firearm out and shoots the door. And the bullet actually hit one of the illegals in the leg, right? So that's how he's getting arrested. They're saying that he discharged his weapon unlawfully. And on top of that, they wanted to release the illegal aliens that were arrested because he lied about the timing of it all. Because he said, oh, it was 7-12 minutes when it was actually just a few seconds, right? So that's the discrepancy here. Did he do anything wrong? In my opinion, no. In my opinion, no. Should he have shot at the door? Probably not, but his life, he was being attacked by 2 illegals. They did just run inside the house. So yeah, he had to shoot. They were getting away and, they just attacked him, right? So there is that. But that's why they're taking him to court. He lives in Texas though. So he got arrested. Now he's been locked up in Texas for a few months, 3 months or so. And they're trying to have him brought to Minnesota so they can have him in their jails over there. And that's why they're suing Greg Abbott now for not extraditing him over to Minnesota. Now, I'm not even sure why he's arrested, because they put out a warrant out for him. So I'm not 100% sure why he's still in Texas or whatever, but you can see how desperately they want to bring him to Minnesota And I'm sure so they can lock him up and treat him very, very, very poorly.
It demands that Abbott sign extradition papers. It would send ICE agent Christian Castro to Minnesota to face charges for a non-fatal shooting in Minneapolis during Operation Metro Surge. Quote, Governor Abbott has disregarded the requirements of the Constitution, federal law, and his own state's procedural rules in refusing to promptly make Castro available for extradition to Minnesota.
We have never heard of anything taking this long because it is an administrative process. It is not supposed to be controversial.
The January 14th shooting was captured here on this Minneapolis surveillance camera video. According to court filings, Agent Castro claimed self-defense, that he was attacked with a shovel before opening fire into a home, injuring Venezuelan immigrant Julio Sosa Solis, who was fleeing the encounter. The video, though, told a different story, and Castro was charged with a slew of felonies.
Yeah, you see this, the shovel is thrown over here. It's over here on the side. Now look, even the ICE director came out and said, yes, he lied. He made up the story. You know, he covered his own ass. He did do that. Not all ICE agents are perfect, right? Not all of them are going to be by the book. And this guy really thought that he could lie about it and get away with it. He didn't know that there was a camera, though, facing directly at that door that exposed the whole thing. And so, because he did lie about the timing of it, about certain other things, that's why that's why they're going after him for this. And he's an ICE agent. Of course, the left is going to throw the book at him. Of course, they're going to try to give him the death penalty. You know what I mean? Like, that's how far they want to push it. He should have just told the truth. He had every reason to tell the truth and be just fine with it. I think what he wanted to do was cover his ass because he shot at the door.
Christian Castro has been charged with breaking the law in Minnesota. He must face justice in Minnesota.
Castro has been in jail in a small Texas border town for more than 2 months. And Minnesota officials are worried that a 90-day window is about to close that could lead to his release. And with Castro to Mexico, they are now asking a federal judge to step in.
Oh, now they're going to get a woke federal judge to push this to the top of the docket. That's all it is. Again, they want, this is a witch hunt. They want to torture this ICE agent. They want to get him in their clutches and make an example out of him. They want to lynch him in the streets and say, you see this? You see this, ICE? This is what happens. This is what happens.
And Castro's not above the law, and Greg Abbott isn't.
Oh, stop it. Every Democrat thinks they're above the law. Stop. As if anyone says nobody's above the law, they're saying that because they think they are above the law.
Now this, just into the newsroom, we have a response from Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
Ooh.
Well, first of all, I don't trust Tim Walz on anything, let alone something like this. But listen, while they're making demands, I could have demanded my own. And that is, it's time for Minnesota to step up and repay the United States of America and Americans for all the fraud that they've committed in their state.
Ooh, that's my governor right there, baby. Hey, pay up. Pay up. We got about $13 million missing from the piggy bank. Pay up. Tell him, Governor. Man, I love Governor Greg Abbott. I don't care what none of y'all say. That's my governor right there. Best governor in the country.
Repay the United States of America and Americans for all the fraud that they've committed in their state.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, listening to him there, I don't think we're going to see an extradition order signed by him. No. Obviously,
this is Chauvin 2.0. Again, they're just trying to use this guy to make an example out of him. By the way, you know, the FBI gave over all the evidence in the whole Alex Preddy and Renee Good shootings. They gave Minnesota all the evidence, access to all the evidence. They said they got terabytes of videos and storage and documents they got to comb through. And again, they're looking for any tiny little thing to use against these ICE agents. They want to do the same thing they did to Derek Chauvin, and they got away with, which was also here in Minnesota, you know? Crazy, man. Crazy. And I feel bad for all these ICE agents. We're over here asking them, demanding them, why aren't y'all ain't doing enough. Y'all need to be out there catching more illegals. Y'all need to do more, do more. All the while they're putting their lives on the line. And if for us to even demanding these things from them, without being thankful for them and what they do get accomplished. Because, there's so many people on the internet right now. Oh, ICE isn't getting enough done. They're not arresting enough. I don't like this. Mass deportations are not happening. Bro, ICE is pushed to the limit right now. They are pushed to the limit. They don't even have days off. They work overtime. The money is probably good. The bonuses is probably good, all that good stuff. But they are pushed to the limit, and they are pushed to the limit, and everyone is looking at them like, if they don't do a good job, then we're gonna turn our backs on them. The Trump administration depends on our ICE agents. So as much as we got pressure on Donald Trump, ICE agents too have all that pressure put on them. Not to mention the fact that the left is trying to dox them. They're trying to attack their families. They're trying to take their livelihood away. They're ICE is more hunted than the illegal aliens are. ICE is literally being hunted everywhere. And so you think of the amount of pressure that they have on them. And we got to have their back. We got to be thankful, man. We got to understand what they're dealing with. And look, with thousands of them out there, it only takes one of them to mess up and say something wrong or to do something wrong, and they get completely torn apart by a system that is looking to destroy their lives. And this guy too, man. I'm glad that Greg Abbott is standing on business and protect this guy, really. I don't think he did anything wrong. He shouldn't have lied. But that doesn't mean his whole life should be destroyed. He should just face some punishment from ICE. Maybe getting fired. Maybe, or being demoted, or maybe just like put on desk duty for a couple months or something like that. But to be arrested and probably charged with like attempted murder and given the maximum sentence. You know what I mean? And then is being isolated from the world for the next 20, 30 years or some insane ruling like that. That's crazy. That's how deranged and how evil the left is. Because they are, man. They are pure evil. And they would love to make an example out of any one of us, especially an ICE agent. So sad, man, sad. But you know who they won't make examples out of? Oh yeah. You know who gets the slap on the wrists? I'll give it to you in just a second. Wounds Are Us. Thank you for the 5 on Rumble. He said, "Hey Arturo, what's up, Wounds Are Us?" And with another 5, he said they want the next Derek Chauvin. Yes, they do. And thank you for becoming the sponsor of the show with that $10 donation. Thank you. Hopefully we can hit that super chat goal today. I don't know how close we are, but I think it's anything $5 or more goes towards that super chat goal. Now, again, we're going back to Minneapolis, and if you haven't hit that like button, please guys, hit that like button. Let YouTube know that the video, this morning show is worth sharing with other people, putting it on the homepage, sharing around with other people's algorithms. Let them know by hitting that like button and just saying something in the chat, all right? And having a good time in the chat. But while Minneapolis is busy hunting ICE agents to make an example out of them in the streets, they're giving slaps on the wrist to Somali fraudsters, people that steal billions of dollars from us. They get the leniency. But ICE agents, they get dragged out in the streets and lynched, basically. Somalis, they get a nice hug and they say, don't do that again.
Another Feeding Our Future fraudster is heading to prison. This afternoon, a federal judge sentenced a Lakeville man to 6.5 years behind bars.
Now, our Mike Man.
6 years, bro. You indulge in fraud that ends up being a multi-billion-dollar scandal. And all you get is 6 years? What, man? No. These people need to be sentenced for 20 years plus, okay? They need to be made an example out of so the next 50 Somalis don't do the same damn thing. And then they need to be denaturalized and deported out of the country. That's what needs to happen. Denaturalizing them while they're in this jail system immediately, right now.
Zoni was in the courtroom, and he joins us now live. And Mike, remind me, what was the sentence here that the prosecutors actually wanted?
Prosecutors wanted 78 months, or about 6.5 years in prison, and that is exactly what the judge gave the man here. The judge says that she handed down that lengthy sentence in large part because he intimidated a witness in the courthouse hallway during Amy Bach's trial here last year. Abdinasir Abshir apologized to the judge before she sentenced him. The 34-year-old's been in jail since last year after prosecutors say surveillance cameras here caught him intimidating a witness in the courthouse hallway. He eventually pleaded guilty to wire fraud for his role in the $250 million scheme. Prosecutors say Abshir claimed to operate a child nutrition site in Mankato under feeding.
Oh, wait. So this is the guy that bribed the jury, intimidated witnesses, and indulged in this heavy-duty fraud. And he only gets 6 years, bro. It should have been 6 years for the intimidation, 10 years for the wiring fraud, 20 years for the actual fraud. What are we doing? Y'all remember the guy that was indulging in fraud and he only got, what was it, like a year and 1 day or something like that? Like, what? These people steal billions of dollars from us and they are let go with a slap on the wrist. And you wonder why people are not afraid of indulging in fraud. I'll get out in a year after 3 years, after having, 3 hots in a cot every day. I'll get out after a year, come back out, and I'll just be filthy rich. All the money will be washed. It's like, that's all I got to do. 1 year in the pen, and then I'm filthy rich right after that, and I ain't even got to go back to work.
Our future's sponsorship. Abshir claimed to serve as many as 3,000 meals a day, but prosecutors say he didn't serve anywhere near that much food. Prosecutors say he made off with more than $2 million, which they say he used to buy a luxury car and other things. Now, Abshir has spent the last year and a half in jail, so today's sentence effectively means that he'll spend another 5 years or so behind.
Oh, get out of here.
Also ordered him to pay back more than $2 million.
You ain't gonna pay that back. We talked about this last year. Well, we talked about this a while back, but the fact that they have all these Somali fraudsters that are supposed to pay back the money. They're supposed to pay back the money. Guess how many? It's like barely any of them paid back anything. Most of them don't even try to pay it back. They just say, okay, stick me with the bill, put it on my tab. And then they just don't even pay. And then what happens? There was like numerous fraudsters that they have this thing that says like, well, if you don't pay, then you have to go back to jail or something like that. I forget what exactly how it all worked out, but basically it wasn't even being enforced at all. They gave him the bill. They said, you got to pay this money back. And then they just didn't pay it back. And then the court doesn't even do anything to them. They just let them have it. They just, whatever.
Downtown Minneapolis, Mike Benzoni, Fox 9.
All right, sounds good, Mike. Okay, this next story is a pretty big deal because we have the state of...
All right, that's the ICE story. Man, listen, bro. Nobody cares about the Somali fraudsters on the left. The left pretends like this is just not even happening. This is right-wing propaganda. Nick Shirley, he's just making shit up. That's how they treat this. These people are 80 plus people brought into court, prosecuted. Most of them got jail sentences under 5 years for stealing millions of dollars from us. Not just the people in Minnesota or Minneapolis, but federal dollars. That's from all of us in this country. And they get a slap on the wrist. What are we doing? This is what happens when you put liberals in control. And when you have liberals in the judicial court system, they just disregard punishment. They disregard accountability. They give people the lightest, most lenient sentences. But when it comes to an ICE agent, oh no, buddy. You getting dragged down to the streets. You getting lynched. They're going to tar and feather your ass, tie you to the back of a pickup and drag you down the street. That's what happens if you're a conservative. Oh, but if you're brown, apparently, and if you're a foreigner, or if you're in the country illegally, or you're a migrant, oh no, you got to be handled delicately. We got to take care of you. We got to make sure you're okay. You get all the concessions, lenient sentences. Hell, I'm sure most of these guys would be like, "Hey, you want to take my wife too? You have a go?" Like, and when you have a woke DA like this creature right here, look at it. Look at, what is it? It looks sick. Mary Moriarty looks like she's sick all the time. Lifeless, dead. No blood and no blood pumping. No life in that skin. Look at it. Like a vampire. That's literally a vampire. And that's her little pet dog next to her. Little pet AG. What are we doing, man? This is why we desperately need to pass the SAVE Act. We have to fight back against the voter fraud, the unfairness in this country when it comes to elections. I don't think the country is as progressive as people want us to believe. I don't think the Democrats are voting for these woke progressives like they want us to believe. I truly believe that there's so much fraud happening in our elections, so much cheating, so many ways to bend the rules, so much stacked against Republicans that you would think with all their cheating and all their extra abilities, their cheat codes activated, that their numbers would be skyrocketing. But they're not. They're almost even with ours. Only they're just ahead, maybe like a chunk, maybe an extra 10% ahead of us. Now imagine if we took all those cheat codes away. We fixed the unfair elections. We got illegals out of our elections. We stopped people from bringing in multiple people. We stopped felons, or well, I don't know about felons, but we stopped people that shouldn't be voting from voting, right? Or voting twice, or stuffing ballots, or filling out mail-in ballots for other people and stuffing those in the. If we took all that stuff away, I think this country would be redder than has ever been in history. I think people are really tired of all this nonsense. I think the Democrat influence, the size of it, the way it looks and appears on media and the mainstream media and all that stuff, I think it is way blown out of proportion. My personal opinion. I don't think all the Democrats support extreme woke transgender policies to the point where a teacher can take your kid to the doctor, have their nuts chopped off, and then you as the parent get put in jail for just questioning it. I don't believe that people in mass agree with that. I don't think half the country agrees with that. I don't even think half the country agrees with open borders. I think that's a small minority of people. A very small minority of people. I know it looks big when they have like a No King's Day protest and they say, oh, hundreds of millions of people came out to protest. Man, it's like a couple thousand. At most, at best, a couple thousand, maybe $100,000 or $200,000 or $1,000 people. I see it. I see you. I don't think that the left has that much of an influence. I think that there's a broken system that definitely favors the left and enables the left to have this massive advantage over us. While we on the right are just trying to play by the normal rules. We're trying to just vote, do our normal thing, go to work and do all this other crap. The left just has so many advantages against us. And we're still able to keep up with them. Even if it's just a little bit of a difference, we're still keeping up with them. That's our power. That's how powerful we are. Now just imagine if they lost their cheat codes and they didn't have that massive advantage. We would outweigh them like 10-2. It'd be crazy. I think that's the way things are, but I could be wrong. You know, I just don't believe this mainstream narrative that Democrats and Republicans are neck and neck with each other, and it's just a slight little bump here and there of who wins. No, I don't think the Democrat rule is quite as big as it is. I really don't. But again, you know, these people, these foreigners, they get a slap on the wrist. American citizens that are putting their lives on the line to actually fight for a better future, we get dragged down the streets and hung. And that's just the way it is. This is why we cannot let the left win. Regardless of anything else going on, or how bad the GOP may be, or maybe there's some rhinos over here. We cannot let the left win. We got to maintain power and fix our house while maintaining power. That's the only option we have. Otherwise, it'll be open season on America again. Wide open borders, progressive, anti-American, communist policies, and that's all you can expect coming from the left. So which one is it? You're going to deal with the right, which isn't perfect, isn't great, but you're going to deal with that, or are you going to just give it up and let the communists take over? You make your decision. Is this the famous shed we're in? No, we're in my house. The shed ain't got nothing in it right now. We're in my house. All right, let me do this last story.
Where the judge at the center of that.
Then we'll call it a day. Y'all hit that like button if you haven't already. Carmelo Anthony, man. Let me tell y'all what's going on with this. All right, so there has been a new judge placed on the Carmelo Anthony case. All right, now this case is already done. He's already been sentenced to 35 years, which some people say that's not enough. I think it's okay. I'm good with that. It could have been worse. It could have been like 5-10 years, right? But I'm glad he got 35 years. That's a long, long time. I'm 35 years old. That's my whole life. Okay? That he's going to be spending in jail. So I'm okay with that. Now, there's a new judge on the case. Why did the old judge get removed? Well, it's because right after the case happened, the judge had an interview and he said, you know what? I think he got a fair trial and I think the jury got it right. So of course, now these race baiters are upset with that. They asked him to be removed from the case, and he was. Now they got a new judge coming in, all right? This new guy is black, but he is a conservative as well, right? I was worried that they were going to put some woke activist judge in there, a black guy who is going to be pertaining and pandering to these race baiters on the left. But it turns out they did give him a black guy, but he is also a pretty staunch conservative. So there's at least that. Okay, there's at least that. But let's go ahead and get into it and see what they're talking about in regards to this.
Where the judge at the center of that high school track meet stabbing trial has been removed as the convicted teen is appealing his conviction. You might remember the case is when then 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony was involved in a confrontation with 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in the rival team's tent. That altercation turning deadly with Anthony stabbing Metcalf. He claimed it was self-defense, but he was convicted of murder and sentenced to more than 30 years in prison. Anthony is black, Metcalf was white, and this case has sparked massive backlash, dividing the community, especially along the lines of race. And almost immediately after that June decision, his family said they plan to fight the verdict.
You say I'm upset? Hell yeah, I'm upset. Mad as hell. I respected this process, but we gonna fight like hell to make sure.
Yeah, listen, bro, let me tell you something. You know why they're doing this? You know why they're coming up. This case is a cash cow for them. They want their cash cow to continue. The Carmelo Anthony case is, there's so much money being wrapped up in it, bro. That this guy, Ben Crump, he don't give a damn about Carmelo Anthony. He don't care about the kid that died. He don't care about the kid that did it, whose life is now gone. He don't care about that. They don't care about getting him a new trial. They know he's going to lose the damn trial again if it actually gets, pushed forward. I think he's actually supposed to decide on that today. They got the new judge in yesterday, and today, I believe, which would be August 20th. You may be seeing the clip after this when it actually happened, and you'll know then what actually happened. But he's supposed to decide whether or not they're going to have a new case, a new trial. Now, it doesn't erase the old sentencing. The old sentencing stays in place. However, they're going to have a new trial, and they could possibly come up with the new sentencing after the trial. That's what I heard anyways. And again, they just want this cash cow to continue. They're doing their hardest to fight for this cash cow again. And you know what's going to happen? When they do get a new trial approved, which is most likely, well, I don't know. It could happen. It couldn't happen. I hope it doesn't. But if it does, man, they're going to put out the donation links. They're going to say, hey, hit me up, bro. Bring in that money. Oh, I'm fighting for my son. I'm fighting for my son. His life is over. Hit the Cash App. Hit my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal. Hit the Cash App. Ooh, yeah, $100 donated. Hey. That's going to be them. Living it up. Cashing in the money. Hey. Going out to party right after that in their Escalades, because they all got big ass $150,000 Escalades. Where did that money come from? But yeah, they don't give a fuck about, they don't care about Carmelo Anthony. They don't care about the trial. But when he was sentenced, his parents had already left. Man, his parents said, meep, meep. Choom. They had already left. They didn't even sit there to hear the victim statements or the sentencing. They had already took the hell off. They got their money, they got the bag, and they just got the hell up out of there. That's disgusting, bro. There is no way on earth, if this was my son, that I would be able to leave him alone in there while he's being sentenced. The moment they heard he's guilty, they said, oh, Lord. And then they took off. Didn't hear the witness. Left his ass alone in there to where other people would talk to him and tell him how disgusted they are with him. And then the judge would tell him, hey, your life is over. Here's 35 years. Now, they had already took off. They were already on their way, looking on their phones. So what y'all want to eat? What y'all want to eat? What y'all want to eat? Let's run up a bag. Let's just go ahead and let's go to some high class, expensive ass restaurant. Let's go. So the parents don't care. The dad don't care. I didn't even know the dad was the dad. I thought the dad was like the older brother or something. Dude, he doesn't even have dad energy at all. He's got like the youngest son kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like the mom is doing all the talking. She on top of everything. The dad is just sitting there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Submissive, docile, subservient. That's exactly what kind of guy he was, man. Or is. He still is right now, right? But they don't care about this case. They just want it to continue to rack up the money. All they care about is so in your face and obvious. While all you people are out there, this is a racial thing. This is race. This is blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they don't care. They're using your imaginary racism and oppression to get money, to get rich off it. They come out here, they only spend 2 minutes in front of the microphone, and then they go in their cars, their Escalades, and they check their bank accounts and watch the numbers just climb.
That Collin County know that Carmelo Anthony is not going to go away.
A correspondent Xavier Walton is live in McKinney, Texas. So Xavier, Anthony's defense team argues the judge was not acting impartial after he spoke publicly about the case.
Nicole, that's exactly right. And that post-conviction fight for Carmelo Anthony's team really started today. And I'll tell you what, court started a little after 9. There were some delays, but it only took 1 hour. That's it for Carmelo Anthony's new defense team to convince this judge, that Judge John Roach, who presided over Anthony's trial back in June, that he should be recused. That's it. It took 1 hour. So just about an hour ago, there was a loud outroar outside of the courthouse. We went down there to see what happened.
And the people are so dumb, bro. The people are so dumb. They think that this is a massive W. They think this is a win of all wins. Yeah, we got that white judge out of here. Well, guess what? They replaced him with a black man who is actually a conservative. Might as well put Justice Thomas on that bench now. That's pretty much what they got. They got a Justice Thomas, Supreme Court Justice Thomas. They got another black man just like him that is now overseeing this court. So yeah, I mean, look, this other judge, and I looked up all 3 of these judges. They're all conservatives. They're all Republicans. Very staunch, very staunch conservatives, right? The one who decided to go ahead and replace the judge, he's a conservative. And he said, all right, I'm going to put a new judge for you guys. I'm going to give y'all what y'all want. Wink, wink. So now they're going to give him the black guy. And now they all happy about that. Ooh, we got a black guy. Oh, yeah. It's up from here. We up. But then he comes out with the MAGA hat on. Oh, my God. It's over. It's over. Yeah, so that's what they got. They got a conservative black judge.
Inside the courtroom, I am told it was tense. I'm told it was emotional. A clip from an interview that Judge Roach, that you were just talking about, Nicole, did 2 days after Anthony was found guilty of first-degree murder, was played for the court to hear. Now, in that clip, Judge Roach agreed.
That ugly-ass pink wig.
Right? The Anthony defense team, his new defense team, says Judge Roach compromised his impartiality during that very interview. Here's what it sounded like for supporters of Carmelo Anthony after today's decision.
Oh, look at my African-American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
So dumb.
Roach has defended those restrictions that he initially put in place when it comes to media, cameras, and audio, in a written statement saying
And she got a septum piercing?
On my ruling regarding the media in the courtroom was to protect the process, witnesses, and jury. And that's one of the things at the forefront for the defense, saying that Roach would not allow these things. A visiting judge from South Texas named Sid Harrell, you know that name may sound familiar. That's because he's the judge who presided over the Uvalde School Resource Officer trial earlier this year. He's going to be back here tomorrow to handle Anthony's post-trial proceedings. But Nicole, I'll tell you what, before today, leading up to these 2 hearings, I reached out to legal experts, and they said that the Carmelo Anthony defense team had an uphill battle. And I think a lot of people, if you ask them, they will tell you that they were a little bit shocked by this decision, not only by the decision, but how quickly it was made too, just 1 hour.
Yeah, they think they got it in. They think they won. Let me see if I can find a picture of that judge for y'all. No, I saw one. There he is. I think that's him.
Step 1 in Carmelo Anthony's push.
A major twist Wednesday in the Carmelo Anthony case. Anthony was convicted in June of stabbing Austin Metcalf and sentenced to 35 years in prison. But now his legal team is trying to get a new trial. And today, the judge who oversaw that original case was removed from the process.
It's a surprising development. I'm not sure how much it matters.
That man is retired Judge Michael Chitty.
So you don't see this often.
Oh,
Chitty.
Never mind.
Chitty.
I'm so wrong. That's the judge. Okay, I thought this was the judge. That guy right there. Nope, I'm wrong. I got everything wrong. Nope, they got him. They got another white man.
The day, I think.
Appeals attorney David Cole says this does not mean Anthony has won an appeal.
The end of
removed from the process.
It's a surprising development. I'm not sure how much it matters at the end of the day. I think.
Appeals attorney David Cole says this does not mean Anthony has won an appeal. It means a different judge will now hear the arguments. That man is retired judge.
So that's the guy. They got Colonel Sanders to be the new judge. But he didn't get the black man. I'm sorry, I messed it all up, you guys. I'm sorry. I had to correct that. I got it wrong. It was actually a white guy. Colonel Sanders is their new judge. And yeah, I looked up his name and everything about that. And yes, he is a staunch conservative. Okay. So all three of these judges involved, Roach, the guy who was removed, the guy who decided to remove him, and then this guy also, they're all conservatives. They're all Republicans, well-known Republican judges assigned by Republicans, right? By Greg Abbott and stuff like that. They're all conservatives. So they really didn't. Okay, so now you got a new judge. What does that mean? That's not going to really change anything. And the situation's still the same. Hell, what if this dude says, you know what? I'm going to up that sentence. I don't think he can, but I'm going to up that sentence. 99 years, no parole, solitary confinement permanently. You think they'll be celebrating then? There will be mass uprising after that one. So there it is. There's the, yeah, Chitty. There's the guy. Iron Infantry, what's up, brother? Thank you for the gold coin. And another gold coin, appreciate it. That's going to be it for today, y'all. That's going to be it for today. We're going to do a show tonight. I will be live with you guys tonight. I really want to talk about what happened in the midterms in Florida. We're going to discuss that tonight. And some other things too. Why not, right? Maybe we'll touch on this Carmelo thing. I know they're supposed to be deciding today whether he's going to have a new trial or not. That is something being decided today, August 20th. I don't know when that's going to be decided, but that will be decided today. I wonder if there's a protest going on or any sort of either way. I can't live stream after this. I got to go do stuff. I got to get videos ready. I gotta go. I gotta do stuff today. I gotta go return all these tools I rented out. That's for damn sure. I need my money back. Now that I got my AC installed and all that's done. But anyways, y'all, that's gonna be it for today, man. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank y'all for joining me this morning. Thank you guys for all the support. Wounds Are Us. Big shout out to you for being the sponsorship of today's video, this live stream. Thank you. Always holding it down on Rumble. And that's going to do it, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I will see you guys tonight on the Daily Discourse channel. Y'all have a good day, man. Y'all take it easy.
Somebody once asked Donald Trump, how do you handle being at the center of all of this media attention, the whirlwind around you? How do you weather the storm? And he looked up and he said, I am the storm. I am the storm.
Fading fire, I see the sky.